everybody. Welcome to UARK Esports Breakfast versus OU Ducklings. I believe that is the University of Oregon. This is our first stream in our brand new studio. We are looking forward to this. I believe Breakfast has been on a losing streak, so hopefully they'll be able to turn that around. And I'm not really sure how the Ducklings have been doing, but I'm looking forward to this game. I know that Breakfast recently came out of a tournament last weekend where they didn't do too hot, but I think they learned a lot. I know they were talking about some new strategies to try implementing it as a team. So I'm very looking forward to see what they do going forward in this game. Hopefully, their luck will turn around as they haven't had the best season. Yeah. Killing time here is always hard. It's like the first map of this best of 3, I believe. Actually, it's best of 5. My bad. Is going to be Lijiang, starting out on control as always, and I think we should be getting into it soon. Looks like I don't know where I'm gonna go with that. Solo's hard. Move over some here though, so that I can see a bit better. I actually thought this would be starting sooner. For the lineup tonight for this first control map, it looks like we're going to have Ospat on tank with Waffle and Cutie playing DPS as usual, and Agape and Megaderp on the support. I know that the sports specifically have been talking about trying out new things, so I'm very excited to see Megaderp play something other than Moira tonight. It's like teams are still waiting on players, however, so are still a few minutes out from the game. Terribly sorry about that. And if anything is wrong with the mic quality or camera, please let me know in chat. I will find out 3 minutes late, but please. And that's really all I gotta talk about right now, I guess. We do have a soundboard. I don't know if it works. There's only one way to find out. Now I'll find out in 3 minutes if that worked or not. A little late starting here. Hopefully, they are going to be ready here shortly. And it looks like the lineup from the Ducklings is Avian, Cubes, Janebi, Cloud Guy, and Foolish for any Duckling people here. I'm hearing from the chat that the Ducklings are also on a losing streak. So this will be a wonderful game, hopefully, where someone breaks their losing streak going forward. At least one of these teams will. I don't really care which. And looks like we are just about ready. At least they are asking if they are. So hopefully we will be able to get into this game soon. And here we go. We are getting into Lijiang Tower. And I have seemed to have made an error, so give me 1 second to fix such error. There we go. I am terribly sorry about that. I had the teams on the wrong side. Now then, let's see what we are going to have in terms of comps. I'm really interested to see Breakfast, see if they've swapped it up from the norm. They have been meta slaves up until this point. And it does look like Ramatra v. Rhine going into the tank matchup at least, which is not a great matchup for UARK going forward here. As well as the Kiriko from both sides, obviously. She is a very good support right now, as I'm sure we all know. That's awful. Okay, their tank is not right. And it looks like the Ducklings and UARK are going to both be attempting the Sim TP strat here. But Ducklings getting first 2 opening picks, making this really unfortunate for UARK as the team fight just instantly goes awry. And Ozpat gets 1 on his way out, but that is a clean point take from the Ducklings. And looks like no character swaps from the side of UARK going forward here. Going to commit to these and see if they can make it work, despite the questionable matchup Ryan has against Ramatra. But it looks like they take the Ramatra out no problem, and beautiful retake fight here. Ozpat just walking through the Ducklings. Let me leave spectator. Okay. And instant retaliation from the side of Breakfast, only letting the Ducklings get 28%. For how quick that first team fight was, they really bounced back. Ult starting to come online for the side of UARK, though. They're going to have Shatter, as well as Nano and Symmetra Photon Barrier. And the Photon Barrier coming out early. The Shatter online from Rhine, and down goes the Shatter. And just like that, UARK Breakfast is cleaning up yet again. It's this lone Kiriko trying to get out, and that is the second team fight down just as fast as the first 2. Although now the ult economy definitely starting to lean more on the side of the Ducklings. Let's hope that they can use these to spin the balance. They had swapped off of Ramatra, notably, into this Rhine 1v1. I hate this. They're the wrong side. The Tire getting 1 from Cutie, but this High Noon definitely denying space. Not getting any kills, but for sure pushing UARK off of the ground they were trying to hold. And team fight goes to the Ducklings, but UARK is up in percent, and they're already back ready to contest this once again. Blossom coming online for the side of the Ducklings, as well as Shatter. Shatter's a massive ult that can definitely turn the tides of these fights. But Nano on Ozpat gonna put in work here, pressuring this backline, as he is just walking past their tank and completely ignoring him. And Shatter getting the Lucio, only the Kiriko left on point, and just like that, another clean retake from UARK. As Reaper trying to contest and get all the points they can. Percentage they can, apologies. Fire Strike coming out from Ozpat. I believe he got 3 with that. And the Tire coming out from Beauty, getting 2, both the DPS. That's going to make this fight incredibly hard to win. And Ozpat getting the Kiriko. This is near impossible for the Owls or the Ducklings to come back on. And just like that, UARK takes the first point. Full first point Beautiful team fights there from Breakfast. They were very decisive, and none of them lasted very long. Very quick and in and out fights. Looks like we're getting some swaps on the side of the Ducklings, though. Swapping to that Sojourn. We all know she is pretty okay pick, I believe. And Cutie swapping to the Echo here, which is not very commonly seen from him. Like Cloud Guy is also picking up on Waffle Symmetra and taking notes. Oh, never mind. I have been bamboozled. This is the worst day of my life. And Breakfast going for the TP strat again. And they are already on point, but is being on point going to be enough for them to win this fight? As down goes the Mercy, which is a huge loss. And just like last time, it looks like the Ducklings are, in fact, cleaning up here and definitely making this a quick cap again. Last time, Breakfast retaliated pretty soundly after that first cap, though, so hopefully going forward, they're going to do the same here. They did sim TP across and are in as much effort as they can, but Avian with the Sojourn getting 3, and just like that, the second fight has gone in the favor of the Ducklings. Sojourn pick really putting in work. I think that was what the Ducklings needed to stay in this game. Nothing they had before was really working out for them. And out comes the Symmetra TP again. They're giving it another shot. They do have Wall coming out, but no other ults on the side of UARK. With Nano on the Reinhardt, it's going to be really hard for Breakfast to handle this, and going to be getting one. But Cutie trading back. Shatter coming out, taking out Cutie, and just like that, this fight is going to be left to the supports to try to make anything work. And looks like they have jumped off to try to make it reset the fight. Ozpat, very risky charge there. I have no idea how he made that, but I guess he's the one on the tank and not me, so. Got a lot of ults coming up from the side of Ducklings, but Tyre here might put in work. Hopefully, gonna be enough to turn this to the tides, and gets 2. Taking out that Sojourn is huge going forward into this. But here is Koobs just walking through them with this nano boost. And with that, the second map, or point, my bad, goes to the Ducklings without a single percent from the side of UARK. Very well adaptations from the side of the Ducklings. I think that Sojourn pick really solidified that point going forward and helped guarantee them that point. Every team fight, she was getting at least 2, if not 3. Like Breakfast isn't making really any changes though to their composition outside of this Ana for the versus the Moira. However, we are seeing a Baptiste instead of a Kiriko from the side of the Ducklings, which is a very interesting choice. And ah, Sojourn trying to get something online. Railgun very easily turned the tides of a fight. And oh, great healing from the side of Dinner. Cutie was not looking too hot, and they are going to pressure this Sojourn off the high ground, which is definitely something they need to do. She was just running through them with that angle. Waffle goes down. However, Breakfast is still trying to take this point, trying to fight as much well as they can. Massive sleep on the Rhine coming out from Megaderp 12. However, the lamp is going to save him, and looks like UARK's going to back out and regroup here. Ospat getting the nano, however, going to try to make something work here. Takes down Cloud Guy, doing his best to make this Reinhardt work into this. And down goes Avian as well. Beautiful fight from the side of UARK. That nano really helped pressure uh, pressure the Ducklings out of point. Lamp coming out as well as the overclock. That is enough to absolutely decimate everyone. But Cutie with the 2K tire to just immediately shut that down. And that leaves Ducklings with no DPS of their own. And not much that they can do about the about UARK walking through them after that. They did back out and regroup, so they didn't lose anything other than DPS there. And a lot of ults coming up for the side of the Ducklings with nothing more than Shatter. And the teleport Shatter completely misses, with the tire getting the opposing Junkrat. Cutie going down, but instantly rezzed by A-Gate. And Genevi getting Waffle. Losing a DPS really hurts. And Cutie also goes down. That means no DPS from the side of UARK. But there is a nano on the Reinhardt. With the Shatter missing him, that's enough for Ospat to take over here and really turn the tides of this fight, despite being down both DPS. %92 on the board. Ult starting to come up for the side of UARK, but not that many for the side of the Ducklings, and things aren't looking great here outside of this nano. As long as UARK can hold out this fight, that will be the map. Huge shatter block from Koobs. And Koobs does get A-Gate. With the tire from Cutie coming out, those tires from Cutie have been doing work, but Avian managed to snipe it out. And Avian also following up with Cutie himself. And down goes Waffle, leaving A-Gate to fight this point alone with Megaderp. Things not looking good, and just like that, the fight does in fact go to the Ducklings. Fire coming up from Cloud Guy, as well as Shatter and Beat on the side of the Ducklings for this fight, while nothing but Nano to make work on the side of UARK, which we did just see the power of Nano alone. Cloud Guy taking out Waffle early, though. Really going to hinder their ability to fight this. Fire coming out from Cloud Guy does not get any value, however. And Nano Reinhardt, both the Reinhardts nanoed, actually. Ospat trying his best to get out, but unfortunately stuck in that Junkrat trap. There's not a whole lot he can do. And Koobs and Avian, as they have done this whole map, cleaning up the remnants of Breakfast. Ospat making that swap to Ball to try to get one last touch. Is he going to make it there in time, though? He does not, unfortunately, does not make it there, and that puts the Ducklings at 1-0. Beautiful showing from the Ducklings. Did get play the game. I did forget about this as a feature. Cutie with the 2K tire. Going to clean up. Beautiful showing from both teams. wrong button. And we are back. I do need to update the score, and you can't hear me while I'm doing that. Too far away. All right. That was a wonderful control map from both teams. Pretty close, all in all. And I think this is really anyone's game going forward. I don't think either team was necessarily getting stomped. Looked pretty uneven sided after that first point, but the Ducklings were very well at bouncing back and making the adjustments needed to take that map home. I think that pending some just team play adaptations, Breakfast definitely has this as a viable game to win. Um, not I liked the Rhine Ditto. Rhine Dittos are always a beautiful thing to see going forward. Very entertaining. And we definitely saw the power of Nano that match. There were multiple times only one team had Nano up and no other ults, and that Nano single-handedly did push through and win them fights. The Ducklings were definitely a were better at getting some opening picks comparatively. Waffle definitely went down a bit early in some of those team fights, and I think that really might have cost UARK harshly, because it's really hard, especially with the damage output that Symmetra can do against a Reinhardt. She hardly ever has to reload, and losing that so early in these fights hurt them very badly. Y'all can see the OBS. That's silly. It does look like we're going to be going to King's Row for this hybrid map. After seeing the Rhines on Lijiang, I think it's very safe to assume we're going to be seeing Reinhardts here, as this is the Reinhardt map. And it looks like we are going to be getting into this game. And let's take it away. I'm very curious if we're going to see any compositional changes here from either side, or if they're going to stick with what worked that whole match. If they will start the game, question mark, exclamation mark, period. Both teams did try sim teleport strategies. I'm curious if either of them are going to do the one that leaves you on top of this Omnic statue. And it looks like Ozpat is going to be on the Ramatra this map, which is very good pick against the Reinhardt. And Avian sticking with that Sojourn that put in so much work last map. Very similar composition on the side of the Ducklings. UARK trying to mix it up, see if they can do something different to push through here. I'm being told we don't have game audio. Not a problem I was supposed to have. I will work on that after this match. Looks like they're trying to fight their way around the statue here. And Agate on the Zenyatta. One beautiful pick. Agate is known to be a pretty decent Zenyatta player here. Is this Zenyatta's default crosshair? Waffle awfully low here going into this team fight. Lamp saving Koobs though as he is getting completely melted. And Avian getting one, Koob's getting another, but down goes Koob, and Waffle goes down as well, leaving the numbers in the side of the Ducklings. Genevieve just walking through them on the Lucio. And just like that, the first team fight does in fact go to the Ducklings. However, Breakfast did get a pip, which is not insignificant, ending the rest of this game. Ults starting to come online from both sides. Window coming out, pushing Breakfast off of this corner in its entirety. However, UARK does have Annihilation online, which single-handedly can win you almost any team fight in this game. And I would not be surprised if with this Nano, we see it very soon here. And just like that, the Annihilation, putting in more work than any ult ever should. And UARK Breakfast has captured this first point with not much hardship after they got that Annihilation. And Ozpat pushed really far up here without any of his team to back him up. Trying to back out, just holding the space so that they can get cart as far as possible with the Bastion, then making sure that it stays good. And A-Gate emoting on point and dying for it, as well as this huge shatter from Koobs, really pushing back here, despite all of the space that Ozpat had taken. Window already back online for the Ducklings, as well as Overclock. Those two alone can do a lot of work. Meanwhile, on the side of UARK, just the artillery strike. And it is coming out. Artillery strike getting nothing but the lamp. And Overclock Window really cementing this team fight. Yes, I think the official name for BAP is Amplification Matrix. Apologies for calling it Window. Things are not looking good for UARK here. They've got to find some adaptation here to make this work. Not taking any character swaps here, though, after these two fights where they have just been walked through. And they do have Ramatrol coming online soon, and we saw how well that worked for them. And here it is already. But the Reaper ult does not care. Death Blossom immediately shutting down Annihilation and taking out the most powerful ult in this match, probably. And it does look like Waffle will be making a swap to Soldier. See if that can put in any work. Ducklings haven't made any composition swaps since they found their mojo on Control, so they must be confident in what is working for them at this point. Giving up space, playing this corner. Mail coming out, and the Shatter. I'm um numbers numbers even on both sides. However, just support ults on the side of UARK. Overclock coming up for the Ducks. That ult puts in a lot of work. Sojourn may not be as good as she was, but she is still an exceptional character. Waffle going around for this flank, trying to make something happen. Mostly just getting some poke damage, however. Gets pressured off by Genevieve. Genevieve, I do not know how to pronounce that. I apologize. And out comes, I don't even know what Zen ult is called. Trans, yep, that's it. Um, deny from the overclock and Nano Visor. Nano Visor getting the Reaper, but not much else as they backed up and line of sighted it very well. Beautiful play from the Ducklings. Not many kills have been going inside of UARK, on the side of UARK here, but they have managed to get pretty far up here, all the way up to the checkpoint. But down goes Ospat with the Annihilation, and with 10 seconds left, it is going to be very hard for them to get this touch here. And just like that, UARK very close. I think that was 0.37 meters away from getting the point captured. I am going to spend this time trying to see if I can fix the audio issue. However, if you will bear with me for just 1 second. All right, we are back. We do have game audio, I believe, potentially, hopefully. Looks like Avian is going to do the Widowmaker thing and try to get an early pick here. However, still no comp changes from the side of UARK. It looks like UARK is deciding to play this high ground with only your friend Levi holding the low ground here. Probably going to attempt to wall someone off. And gets the Reaper and the tank, but the Baptiste and Lucio do not care, and just like that, Levi is alone trying to take this fight. And UARK is already off of the high ground. They were all holding. AWOL can only do so much with the Baptiste and Lucio. They can both just basically ignore it. And killed Artifact, going on the side of UARK though, for probably the first time this map outside of that initial point take. And beautiful fight, UARK. I believe they only lost one throughout that entire interaction. With ult economy definitely looking on their side. Nano Annihilation very close here. Interesting visual bug on the Ramatra here. It appears that he's in Annihilation. Apologies. And here's Nano Annihilation. Shatter coming out, but he is still going to just be able to walk through them. And they get 3, I believe. Just 2. Apologies. Both the DPS going down. And they have moved up to holding their spawn, however, are going to wisely decide to back up. Very awkward spot to hold, especially on this map. And Boob's getting Waffle down. Waffle rezzed, however, by Window overclock, putting in the work it's put in all game. For his team, or this team fight, not the first. Pretty soundly into the hands of the Ducklings. Hunter is online for the side of Breakfast, as well as Valkyrie. Nothing more than beat or Ducklings going into this. Reinhardt has been walled off here, but the lamp saving him time and time again. And that Reinhardt going down is a huge detriment to Ducklings. Awful A-Gate going on a little journey over here. It's only safe to assume trying to set up for Advisor. Annihilation also online inside of UARK here. Down goes A-Gate, however. And Nano coming out as well as the Annihilation and beat. Looks like everyone in the lobby has decided to hit Q here. And Ozpat, going a little hard in the paint, manages to get Avian, but does die for it in retaliation. With the fight overall going to the Ducklings. And taking notes from Ozpat here, Boobs is going to push far up and try to guarantee his team a little extra distance on that payload. Visor still online, as well as Blizzard coming out soon. However, they do have to watch for the overclock that has put in so much work throughout this game. Huge anti from Foolish, completely negating Valkyrie attempting to heal. Big Ozpat there. Sorry, I got my players mixed up. There are too many A names on this team. And Tube single-handedly holding point. It is going to back up after Cloud Guy gets A-Gate with the Blossom, but is going to be left sleeping in the back lines. Megaderp attempting to DPS Ana. No, overclock here. Attempting to put in work, but there is actually a pick on Ozpat there. Huge pick to get, especially this close to the finish. Levi did make the switch to Torb, but he is going to get shut down by Avian here. Avian on this Sojourn has put in so much work this game, proving that she is still a viable character. And just like that, all of the kills going towards the side of Ducklings, and the map goes to the Ducklings. Gameplay from both sides. I just think that the Sojourn definitely put in a lot of work there in helping shut down and burst damaging this Ramatra out of his Annihilation, as well as anything else that they tried to do. On flank, she was just there and fully prepared to shut it down. The next map, I believe, is going to be Escort. I think that Torbjorn swap might have put in work for UARK. It did come out a little late, though. Arguably too late to matter. Torbjorn cannot contest near as well as May can, but his damage output is quite large if you can hit your shots with him. And I think it did boil down to the fact that the Ducklings had so much more burst damage than UARK. Not seeing anything about maps, actually. Very close. I think just the majority of those team fights went in the way of the Ducklings. Not much that UARK could have done there. I'm going to send us to a short break while we wait for them to figure out what they're doing. All right, welcome back. We are here on Dorado for the third map in this best of 5 series. Score is currently 2-0 Ducklings. I forgot to update that because I was silly. Wow, would you look at that? The score is 2-0 Ducklings. Going forward into this third map, if the Ducklings win this, the series will be over, and UARK will have still not broken. UARK Breakfast will have still not broken their losing streak. Looks like Koobs is looking at a Winston comp here, as well as Ozpat. Both teams looking at the Winston, and Breakfast deciding to take notes and pick up a Sojourn of their own after seeing how Avian has been dominating this game. Support comps looking very similar to what we've seen so far, however. I'm very interested to see Levi on the Sojourn. Avian has been dominating these games so far.
5, 4, 3.
Although Levi has swapped to the Torbjorn. Interesting swap here. And UARK is choosing to split up here, having some people take the low ground, the DP, and the Torbjorn try to hold cart and push cart. Levi and Cutie both getting picks at the same time. Definitely would think this would turn the fight in the way of Breakfast, and it is, as the Winston diff from Ozpat going forward into that. And that is a clean, I believe, a team kill from UARK. Actually, no, the Kiriko got out. Apologies. And things like that are what we needed to see from UARK for them to have any chance going forward into this game. For getting the touch as well with the Winston. It's the Ana, but Ozpat retaliates by getting 2 and the Winston kill, and just like that, UARK has already gotten the first checkpoint. 5 minutes left. We're getting to the next. Beautiful showing from UARK. This was the change we needed to see from them. Looking something here. Getting large amounts of damage going forward that team fight, but and Ozpat taking up on it, making sure to get the finish on that Reaper. Very nice pick into this fight. What I was talking about earlier, these opening picks were what were making the Ducklings have so much advantage in these team fights, and UARK is finally able to get a couple of their own here. As I don't think the payload has stopped since they got on it, which is exactly what you'd like to see. Primal coming online for Ozpat, as well as Kitsune and Molten Core. He's trying to get this touch to prevent them from capping Brigitte swap from Genevieve, who has been on Lucio all day. Doing what he can here with the Primal Rage, and Koobs responding with a Primal Rage of his own. Cloud Guy taking out Levi, but the payload's already made it there, and that is 5 minutes to get to this last point. Full showing from UARK. This was what they have needed to find this whole time. Nano coming out into Koobs though. Nano Winston does a lot more damage than you'd think, but not able to capitalize off of it. Ults for both teams having nearly 2 DPS ults, but the support ults are on the side of UARK going forward. No, he is going to come out into Ozpat though, as Koobs takes out Cutie and is going for those on the cart, but after being antied, he is going to try to get out before things turn right. Avian gets the pick on Mega Dirt with Overclock. He's looking a little lost there. And Ozpat retaliating with the kill. Numbers definitely on the side of UARK. However, looks like it is all up to Levi to push card here. And Tyre coming out from Cutie. Hitting 3 with the Tyre. Cutie with the 3K Tyre, leaving just the Winston Brigitte on point. And the Molten Core is going to make it very hard for this Brigitte to get any value. And Levi takes down the last 2. Beautiful showing from UARK with 3.5 minutes left.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
These were the changes that we needed to see from UARK for them to bring this back and have a chance at winning. And I'm wondering if we're going to see any adjustments from the Ducklings. I don't think that was the comp to Ditto in, at least for the tank matchup. Ozpat seemed to be getting a lot more value than Koobs on the Winston here. And Ozpat is going to stick with the Winston. It's like all of Breakfast is sticking with their comp. And Avian covering the Widow here. And it looks like they are going to commit to this Winston comp. Hopefully, they can make it work on attack. Defense, it wasn't doing too great for them.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Avian with the jump shot, but misses Levi. Unable to get any value from it, and instantly swapping to the Sojourn that they have been having success on this series. Agate does get antied, and with that, it gets pressured and goes down. Breakfast maintaining their presence on the high ground, but Winston very easily can contest it. And Ozpat making the swap to the Diva here, while kills keep going in the side of the Ducklings. And down goes Cloud Guy. Or definitely has potential to bring this back. And Diva definitely putting pressure on this Winston, completely pulling him off of point, which was exactly what they needed. Ozpat coming up on Bomb. On Diva Bomb. I'm not sure the name of that one either, admittedly. Meanwhile, Molten Core online. Kitsune coming out from A-Gate. But Nano Winston is going to put in a lot of work here and definitely push them through to get this checkpoint with not quite as much time as UARK had going into this point, but definitely a reasonable amount of time. However, UARK does have both DPS ults as well as the Diva Bomb, while the Ducklings have nearly everything but Nano. Reptire coming out from Cutie. And the Tire goes down to Avian, not getting any value. That is a massive ult who's out on the potential of. Ozpat taking fights, but getting pressured by the Reaper from behind. Death Blossom only getting Cutie. Osmat desperately trying to push the Diva Bomb off and not managing to do it, therefore getting no value out of it. But he does get a kill with the remake. And Overclock coming out from Avian. So as well on top of the Overclock, nearly one-shotting the Kiriko without even the headshot. And cleaning up. Guy putting in work on this Reaper. He has gotten at least one or two nearly every team fight, even if the team fight hasn't gone their way. He's still online as well for the Ducklings. Levi holding onto this Molten Core and has for nearly a full point. Cloudy Guy is coming back up on this Blossom though. Hopefully it doesn't get Defense Matrix out like it did last time. Tire coming from Beauty. Making well use of the map's geometry and getting Avian, who has been the one to kill the Tire just about every time. And Molten Core finally coming out from Levi. But only getting the Ana. Lucio did get trapped, but to no avail. And the Nano on the Diva. Ospat getting 3 and doing his best to keep Levi from going down on top of all this. Ospat with the 4K. Showing and maintaining the Diva Bomb. However, Overclock, Nano, and Primal are here for Ducklings. Here comes Diva Bomb. Sadly getting none. Tire is close to being back online though. Nano on the Winston. Takes out one. Going for more. Gets the Ana. That is no supports for UARK. The Primal still online. This looking like a done deal team fight. An Overclock was used that fight. Levi taking the swap to Reaper. Attempt to pressure this Winston, at least somewhat. Cutie coming out with the Tire. Not quite getting any value out of it, but doing decent amount of chip damage. Primal from Koobs. Getting none. And you are holding on very well, and then the Blossom completely shut down. Their touch. However, they've made it back and are continuing to contest. All 5 on point. Ospat, no mech, but coming up on getting it back, and this is going to be tough for the Ducklings to recover from. Dune rush and getting that early pick on Foolish gonna delay any touch they might have had even more. Not a whole lot of ults either to work with on the side of the Ducklings. Apologies. However, they're going to do their best to make it work as they come back and immediately shut down Levi's Blossom. And leaving just Ozpat here on point. But Ozpat is nanoed and has bomb. And completely shut down a touch with a proper bomb. And the bomb gets one. And Levi on the Tracer gets another. Huge picks from Levi. And just like that, Breakfast takes the map. Showing from Breakfast. I think they really made the adaptations they needed there. And looks like Cutie did get the play of the game. I'm assuming this is the 3K tire that closed out the last map, or the first attack, the last point. Oh, and we don't even get to see it. I'm terribly sorry about that, folks. And I'm going to us to break until we figure out what we're doing for push. Welcome back here on New Queen Street for the push.
Initiating match.
Shoot. Listen, I haven't had to do this in a few weeks. Fine, it's fine, we're fine. Welcome back to Push. Turn the game sound down a bit. I've heard it was a little loud. Hopefully that's good. And welcome to New Queen Street for Push. UARK definitely did better with the Winston comp than they had been doing in these Rhine or Ramatra compositions, so I'm curious to see if they are going to stick with it. And it does look like both teams want to do Winston going into this. And UARK is going to stick with this comp that they ran for Dorado, and the same for Ducklings. I can see the validity in running these comps. If you think about it, Push is just escort with extra steps. And let's hope that UARK can keep the momentum that they showed in that Dorado match. A-Gate does go down immediately, but Cutie responds with the trade near instantly. But health bars aren't looking great on the side of UARK. And the team fight is not looking amazing. going forward here. It is just Levi here to defend this, and he is going to choose to back out. Wait for his team to regroup. And an early lead taken by the Ducklings. Getting a pick on Avian, who has been putting in a lot of work with the Sojourn. That is a massive pick to get to start these fights. As well as getting Janibi and Cloud Guy going down. That puts the numbers at 3-5. And things are not looking good for the Ducklings here. Ozpat guaranteeing that finish on the tank. And a beautiful team fight from Breakfast. As well with a little bit of a stagger here on the tank and the Kiriko. And Cutie with the tire already. Not any value out of it. However, there are plenty of ults from both sides here to try to turn the fight, with Breakfast currently maintaining the lead and the lead in picks. Taking two very powerful ults out of the cycle for this fight. UARK coming up on forward spawn here. It looks like they're going to get it pretty uncontested. However, Tsune coming out from the Ducklings, and Torbjorn Molten Core on it to try to deny any value that it could give. Sojourn Overclock coming out, and numbers are falling not in a favorable position for UARK here, as Avian on the Sojourn is cleaning up here. And leaving just Ozpat alone to contest and try to keep this fight going. Full pushback from the Ducklings. They only have Reaper Blossom to work with now, and Tyre and Nano on the side of UARK, ready to attempt some sort of pushback here. Nano on the Ozpat going after this Lucio and getting him. However, Ozpat is awfully low here. Manages to make his way back to the healers, or supports. And keeping Tyre up. Death Blossom is on the table for the Ducklings, but is that alone going to be enough here? Tyre coming out from Cutie here. Let's see if he gets any value with it. Using the map geometry to try to keep the Tyre out of line of sight, and unfortunately no value out of the Tyre. The Diva Swift coming out from Koobs here. Very interesting choice, but it did work last game for UARK. Maybe they thought they'd take some inspiration. Blossom getting Cutie here, and Avian taking out Levi. No DPS, and clean team wipe from the side of the Ducklings. But they do have a long way to push to make this work. Molten Core and Primal, as well as Kitsune actually, on the line here for Breakfast. Meanwhile, the only thing the Ducklings have to work with is Beat and maybe Overclock, depending on how fast this fight goes down. But Cutie taking out the Overclock out of the equation. And both teams a player down. Beat online, active for the Ducklings, but Ozpat with the Primal Rage, taking the Diva out of mech and doing his best to keep any semblance of contest out of the picture. And a clean kill on Cloudy Guy from Ozpat. Nano and Molten Core online for UARK here with Diva Bomb and Overclock. And Avian with the clean shot on Cutie, but Cutie is going to make that trade. Or Levi is going to make that trade and make sure that neither team is at a loss based on that. Levi running Hammer out, trying to get his way out. Molten Core, great way to stop people from getting contests. And Ozpat getting Cloudy Guy down to bring out the fight. However, the Diva Bomb is going to get no value outside of the turret. And the Diva gonna completely negate the Molten Core. Nano onto Ozpat though. Going to do what he can to make it work. Kitsune Rush in retaliation, and I will not be surprised if we see an overclock here. Looks like they don't even need it with Cloudy Guy going through and with the Blossom Online pushing through this back line and leaving a large number of ults online for the Ducklings here, making sure not to overcommit too many of them. Riptire is, however, online again for the side of UARK. And Primal coming back pretty soon, and Offbat has been getting quite a bit of value out of it. And here comes the tire. The beat completely negating the tire. And this bubble, it seems like Avian has been trying to just shoot through it, not getting much value at all through it. And Ozpat not getting much in the terms of kill, but definitely making a lot of space for his team with that Primal. And getting awfully low, but managing to back out safely. Not really any kills going on either side. However, space definitely taken in the favor of UARK. Kitsune Rush coming out, doing the best they can to keep this fight alive and not lose any more space than they already have. If the Ducklings can get forward spawn here, that might be what they need to turn the tides of this game. They just cannot get these opening picks. Cloudy Guy is getting the turret down, but not much more than that here. Now, the second it was online from Janibi, and the Diva Bomb gets 2, and there's the forward spawn, as well as 3 down, leaving just Cutie and Agate to attempt to hold down the lines here. And down goes Cutie. Agate does make it back into spawn. Kitsune Rush online as well as Tire. This Riptire has been coming on and off awfully fast, although it hasn't gotten a whole lot of value this game, as opposed to how it's been previous matches. Overclock coming out from Avian has been getting huge value with this, and gets 2, 3 with the overclock. Does he secure the 4th on Levi here? Does not, but Cloudy Guy is there for it. And just like that, the lead has been taken by the Ducklings. With 15 seconds left on the clock, this is going to be very hard for Breakfast to come back from. Tire is online, but they have a lot of team fights they have to win in a row here. Tire does get foolish. And overtime is triggered, which means if UARK leaves the robot at any point from now on, they will have lost the map, and not only the map, the series. They will have to win 2 to 3 team fights here in a row, and it is going to be a tough ask. Not many ults either, leaving just Mega Derp here, along with the Cutie on the Cassidy. And Levi doing his best to keep this alive, but the Kitsune Rush is enough to close it out. And just like that, the map goes to the Ducklings and the series as well. Are they going to let us see play of the game this time?
Play of the game.
No, they are not. And that is. I should be closer to this. I keep forgetting I have to be close to this. That is a 3-1 victory for the Ducklings. Beautiful showing from both teams. Um, Thank you very much for watching in our new studio room. This is where I believe all the streams will be happening from now on. And thank you for supporting the team.